Hello friends, my name's the Real Emile and welcome back to Forza Horizon 2. In today's video we are going to be doing the Modern Muscle Car Championship, and some of you might recognise this car a little bit. This is the car from my first ever video, in fact, where I drove a Jaguar E-Type and then I proceeded to do Modern Muscle Cars, and this was the car that I chose to do Modern Muscle Car Championship with. Now, it has changed colour since then. I changed the colour for this video and it took a lot longer than it probably should have done to choose a colour for this car, because I was torn between using this white or using this car. When it first came out in Forza 5 had a, I can't quite, correct me if I'm wrong, Bordrant, I believe is the name of the DLC it came in, and it came with some awesome like paint job as well. It was like the board, it had the Bordrant School of Driving paint job on it. You might see it during this video, and that's a really cool special livery, so I kind of wanted to use that as well, so I wasn't sure. In the end I've gone for this nice little white colour, which yeah, hopefully should be good. So the Corvette C7, this car is the 2014 Corvette Stingray. Probably one of my favourite Corvettes. Well, if I had to pick a Corvette to actually have in real life, it would be this one. This is a fantastic car. It's awesome looking. I love the fact that after, well, since the 90s, the Corvette hasn't changed a huge amount, but with this model they've completely redesigned it. They've gone back to, they've kind of made it look, I don't know, completely new and different. I kind of wanted to say they've harkened back a bit to the 70s with the whole Stingray thing, but no, they've made it look completely different, and I really like this car a lot. Not my favourite Corvette, that would be the C4, which again, to this day I still can't tell you why I like the Corvette C4 so much, I just do. But yeah, this is a fantastic car, this. In fact, it was Jerry Clarkson's Car of the Year for last year, which is interesting. I don't like the interior that much, to be honest. I don't like any Corvette's interior. It always looks a bit cheap to me. And I can imagine it feels cheap, but I don't want to go too much into it, because of course a Corvette is not about the interior, it's about the driving style, and this is actually a fairly nice car to drive in game. Yes, it's tail happy, of course it will be. It's got a 455 horsepower at 6.2 litre V8. You know, it's not going to be all civilised and it's going to let you drink a cup of tea while you're driving it, for example, but yeah, it's not a cup of tea, it's more like an overdose of Gamma Labs. It's a bloody mental car, this, and I love it. Oh dear. Interestingly as well, its engine is the 6.2 litre V8. You see it a lot as an engine swap in this game for many cars, from everything from the Ford Fiesta ST right up to the Mercury Coupe, and then the Ford F100, and all of them have the 6.2 litre V8 out of this car. Even the Willys Jeep actually has the engine out of this car, which is a mental car. I'm going to drive the Willys Jeep on here at some point, because I love that thing. I've got a tuned one that I really do quite like. So, but yeah, this Corvette is a really nice looking car. It's a really fairly nice driving car. It's a good car to drive. I wouldn't say it's the fastest by any means. It's probably one of the faster cars in this category, save for maybe the Camaro ZL1, because that car is absolutely awesome to drive. If you haven't driven that car yet, I seriously recommend it. It's a 580 horsepower muscle car. Believe me, it handles like a dream, and no, that shouldn't be said at all about it. God, yeah. So it has actually recently occurred to me on this channel that we haven't actually used any muscle cars yet, so that's why I'm sort of doing the Modern Muscle Car Championship now. I was going to do the Retro Muscle Car Championship, but the only two cars I'd actually want to use for that is the Camaro IROC Z and the 99 Viper ACR. And I also wanted to incorporate the 88 Chevy Monte Carlo in there, because I wanted to put that with the Camaro, because they're both GMG bodies. But I might do that at some point, but we'll see. I can't think of another car I'd actually want to drive in the Retro Muscle Car Championship, because most of them are horrid, stupid cars.
Good driving, mate, but don't get complacent.
Unless the Corvette C5's in this game. I don't think it is, though. I'm not sure. Is that green one, the one out the new Transformers film? There's a modified Corvette C7 in that film, I think. I didn't watch it the whole way through, so I can't. I don't remember the car very well either, but I think it's the one from the new Transformers film. God dear. Right. Where to next? Grandy Sprint, or we can go and do a street race. This car looks very street racy, so let's go and do that. That's what the Corvette's all about, of course, rebellion. Excuse me. Right, I think I've upgraded the brakes on this car. It's the only upgrade I've done to it. I wanted to leave it stock, because that's sort of what I do with cars on this game. For some reason, the cars stock on this game, you don't really notice them. The wonderful thing about this game, I thought I was going to hate it. As soon as I saw this in the game, I thought it was just going to ruin it completely, but it hasn't. Basically, you can customize any car to any class, and the competition will sort of form around that. So, for example, I'm driving this Corvette right now, and it's a top of A class car, so all these guys will be top of A class, maybe right down the bottom of S1 class. Now if I was to switch to my 2015 Mustang, that car's a B class car, so all the competition will be in B class cars. In previous Forza games, you know, it was, here's the championship, they specifically want C class cars, you have to use the C class cars. And I thought, you know, building cars for classes was dead, but no, it's a really good system. I don't particularly want it to continue into the motorsport titles. I still want there to be some restrictions as far as that goes, but definitely for the Horizon titles, it works very well. Or even better, on the motorsport titles, let's say the classic Super Mini thing that they have in there. Make it so, yes, you can, the primary thing is D-class cars, but you can also have a C-class car or a B-class car, and the competition still goes on. But if you have an A-class car, then it doesn't like you. Something like that maybe might work, a happy medium per se. But I'm not sure. This is a short bloody sprint race. We're going into that rock face there. Luckily I've got the damage turned off. Horizon's a very pretty game. It's a very, very good looking game, this, actually. Yes, I know it doesn't run at 60 frames per second, and maybe it should, but overall this is a fantastic, fantastic looking game. I don't know what looks better out of this or Forza 5 though. Forza 5 definitely has its own merits in terms of look. I feel more detail went into the cars on Forza 5, but more, I don't know, more detail on this went into all the environments to make them look fantastic. Either way, they're both fantastic looking games, and honestly I feel both of these games are some of the best of 2014, in fact, if not the best games of 2014. I know for a fact Horizon 2 has been definitely mentioned for Game of the Year 2014 a few times, and you know, I can definitely see that happening. 2014 was a year of disappointments, and luckily Horizon 2 wasn't one of them. But anyway, as we come around this final finishing line, there we go. Do I think this game's a good reason to own an Xbox One? Well, this and Forza 5 combined for me, definitely. If you're not a huge Forza fan, then yeah, I'd maybe skip it until it comes down to about £200–250 maybe. But of course, that won't mean anything to the Americans of you. Hey, we got wheel spin. Aussie Bloke 27, yes. We shall go and beat Aussie Bloke 27 purely because he has a fantastic, fantastic name. There we go. Right, let's do this wheel spin. What are we gonna get? Please, can we have a car? Maybe we can get next episode's car with £6 grand. Maybe I should do that. We should like get wheel spins, see how much money we get from them, and then buy the next car with it. Unfortunately, we can't do that because modern muscle cars cost a lot more money than that. But anyway, friends, that about wraps me up for today. So until next time, farewell.